They just do what they always do.
Why is he putting Leo Komarov on the first line? Like,
welcome to the Rock.
So, as you know, this is the second consecutive year the Islanders are playing the Lightning in the semifinal, or normally conference finals, as it's normally called. And it's the first time it's happened since 2013 and 2014 when the Blackhawks and the Kings went head-to-head. And typically, it's hard to, in a rematch, it's hard for the team that won the previous year to win again. So hopefully that luck's on the Islanders' side. But it brings me to the point of, you never know when you're going to get back to this point. And then people talk about, often in sports, your window. So with the Islanders cap situation, talking about today, let's talk about their window and the varying opinions on it. So, as we all know, they're not in a great cap situation this offseason. However, Big Lou is going to have a hard time keeping the team together. With that said, regardless of what happens, you have Matthew Barzal, who's 23 years old. You have Anthony Beuvillier, a very young player. Oliver Wahlstrom, who, broke out at the end of the year, and actually before he got hurt in the playoffs, has, 3 points in 5 games. He's young. He's going to be there for a long time. Noah Dobson, young. Defenseman. Ilya Sorokin, their future in goal, young. So regardless of what happens here with the Islanders, they still have a lot of their upper echelon talent that are still in their prime years. In some cases, even before your prime, like Barzal's 23, you could say 25, 26 when you're really into your prime. And then you have the second tier younger veterans like Brock Nelson, still going to be good for quite some time. So they have, in my personal opinion, their window's still open for a decent amount of years. It's more so the problem is keeping the team together with the cap situation. As we all know, Adam Pelech, a restricted free agent, he's going to be due a hefty raise. Ryan Pullock, who provides more offensively, got $5 million. I don't know if Pelech is going to get that. He might. I'm not sure. Anthony Beuvillier is doing a contract. You could probably say around $4.5 million for him. Ilya Sorokin is a restricted free agent, and those are the big ones. UFA, Casey Cizikas, who we discussed before, the Islanders want to keep him. It may be a little hard, I know. He was making $3.35 on his expiring contract. The good thing is there are a lot of teams that are cap-strapped. How many teams are going to shell out even more than that and give him a raise in this climate? I don't know how many teams are going to do that. So if he's going to accept the same amount that he's making now, and he truly loves New York with his buddies Martin and Clutterbuck, hopefully he can re-sign and have a handshake agreement with Matt Martin had with Lou last year and wait until everything's sorted out before he signs. So that's what we hope happens. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I will say is Lou has a lot of work to do, and to get all those guys signed, and that's not even mentioning Kyle Palmieri has been fantastic for them in the playoffs. I'm sure they want to keep him. I don't know how they would do that. At this point, it would be really, really hard. And he's a local guy, so I'm sure he would want to stay if they can make it work. But in my opinion, here's what has to happen. Thomas Hickey, Leo Komarov. Hickey, $2.5 million left. Leo, $3 million left. Try to trade him. They got 1 year left. If not, buy him out. You don't save that full amount, but at least they save some. I think between the two of them, they would save like $3 million on the cap to bought them out. Then Andrew Ladd hasn't played hockey in 2 years. I think this is setting up to him going on long-term injury reserve, I hope. The guy hasn't played in 2 years. Clearly he can't play anymore. Hopefully Lou can find a way to put him on LTIR, because that would help the Islanders a lot. The guy makes $5.5 million. That would be a godsend. And then lastly, Nick Leddy in expansion will probably be left unprotected because Scott Mayfield only makes $1.45 for the next 2 years, so that's a steal. And they value the contracts right now, so you easily protect him over Leddy. I hope Seattle takes Nick Leddy, and that frees up $5.5 million off the cap as well. So that's what needs to happen for the Islanders to have this sorted all out. Now, last year I referenced they traded Devon Toews because they needed to sacrifice someone. He was a restricted free agent. Lou felt that maybe he might make too much, and he made the deal. And then, as we all know, they took Johnny Boychuk because he had that career-ending injury, put him on LTIR, which helped. So they're going to be in the same situation again this offseason. I do have a lot of faith in Lou that he can navigate it, but he's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to keep this team together. He really is. So hopefully he can be creative, but we'll see.
Go ahead.
You know what? I think this team's going to take a step back. I just think that there's just too much obstacles for Lou this time around. He got lucky with the Boychuk situation that you don't ever want to see someone's career end like that, but that absolutely helped. It really did.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know if Nick Leddy gets claimed by them. I mean, it's possible, but let me ask you this. They're going to have to leave a forward like Jordan Eberle or Josh Bailey exposed, I would say. And I think Seattle would rather take one of those two than Nick Leddy. I would agree, especially if it's Eberle. I think it would be stupid to leave Eberle exposed. I would rather leave Bailey. You know they're not going to leave Nelson because, hi, I was wrong on Brock Nelson. Hi, I'm here. I'm still here. But yeah, I wouldn't leave Brock Nelson exposed because he's become a decent two-way center, I would say, at the very least. But you got to be a fool to leave Eberle exposed. I would trade him before I expose him. Bailey, good player, but I don't want to say he's a dime a dozen because he's not. But it's hard. It's easier to find someone like Josh Bailey than it is to find a Jordan Eberle, and I think you would agree with me on that. So I just think there are too many obstacles for this team. They're going to be a competitive team. They're not going to the cellar. I mean, they're not going away. I don't know if I see them as a cup threat like they are right now. And Kyle Palmieri, you would obviously love to re-sign him with what he's done in the playoffs. He's played great for them. But I don't see that happening. If someone can give me a real good, foolproof way of how to keep him, okay, I'm open to discussing that. But I don't see one. I just don't. Like, where are you getting the cap space from? You have so many of these other issues. And you're talking about, what Matt Martin did last year and waiting to sort out the cap situation. How Palmieri really that attached to the point where he's going to pass up on possible better offers to see that happen? Maybe he is. Maybe he wants to stay local. But if he wants money,
probably not.
Yeah, listen. I'm not telling you that Kyle Palmieri has no loyalty to this team because I'm not in Kyle Palmieri's head. I don't know how he feels about staying around here. He may love it here. He may love being back home. He may love being close to his family, and he may want to stay. And he may take a discount to do it. It's possible.
This also might be his last UFA contract.
Yeah, I mean, He's 30. He's Chris Kreider's age. They were the same draft, 2009. So this is his last real payday, his last real chance at one, unless he takes a short-term deal, takes a one-year prove-it type deal, which I don't know why he would do. That's kind of risky at this point, especially in a flat cap, especially when they're saying you still might have another 2-3 years at least at flat cap. So I don't know. I just don't see how he stays. I think they're going to still be a competitive team. They're still going to be a playoff team. They might take a step back until guys like Wahlstrom develops into a legitimate 30-goal scorer, or Dobson develops into a legitimate top-pairing defenseman. So it might be a little bit of a regression. You might have to take 2 steps back, but you could eventually take 3 steps forward.
Kind of like Paul Abdul. But actually, that was the one critique about Lou going back to Toronto and his end of the days with the Devils, is that he didn't manage the cap situations that well. I think he's done a good job with the Islanders, making him competitive, keeping him competitive. I think Palmieri is the guy that I look at and go, he's not staying. There's no way. There's just no way. He's going to be getting a lot of offers elsewhere. Boston was looking at him. Taylor Hall says he might want to stay and score 2 goals there as well. So it's just it's a good question to ask about the Islanders window. So what do you think? Do the Islanders window open? And How's Lou managing the situation? Who do you not want to lose to Seattle? Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you like that video, we got a lot more. So check out any of these that are right over here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.